Okay, still have my tardigrades going for 3 weeks and 4 days, 3 weeks and 4 days so far. You can see I introduced accidentally other things in here when I put some algae in. I got some rotifers and things. But for the most part, I started with tardigrades and some, separated them out from the moss. But over time, other things either got introduced by accident or came up just, from the original sample and finally grew. So, so still have a couple of tardigrades, more than a couple on here. Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, so you can see just in this view right here, I got two of them on the same view, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna start up Reddit here. Let's see. Okay, Reddit's running. And so there you go. I'm gonna I might end up doing a YouTube stream just for kids. See if I can get any kids to watch, maybe at school and stuff. The only thing when you do it for kids, there's no commenting going on. Like you can't read comments or anything for obvious reasons. A lot of kooks out there aggravate the kids and say, ridiculous things to the kids. So if you gear this directly to kids, people won't get the comment. But I might do that one day because I'd like kids and teachers maybe to see this kind of thing. This is actually rotifers right here. You got some rotifers at the bottom, and you can see they're well fed. See that green in them? That's algae that they've been eating. So they're well fed rotifers. And up at the top, you got that tardigrade walking around. So and you can see rotifers are multicellular animals also. So water bears right there and rotifers are truly micro animals. Those are animals. So I'm gonna get up for a second, get me something to drink. Some tea. Sorry about that. Hear me shaking my iced tea. Sorry about that. I was thirsty. So there you go. Tardigrade and a rotifer. Look at that rotifer getting in that algae, boy. Now this, you can't really see any his tummy. They had other ones on here that you really see how they were sucking in that cyanobacteria. See that rotifer at the bottom? Right there, you see how he has green? See how his insides are green, those two? That's because they got belly full of the cyanobacteria. So they like to eat that. You can really see it. I don't know if on Reddit you could see how green it is, but on the YouTube feed you could surely see. Tardigrades have been known to suck the juice out of those rotifers. They'll stick them at the bottom where they hold on, and I guess they get them in that little jaw sucker, and they suck the juice out of them. So they have been known to eat tardigrades. So this is about exactly 150 times. So you're looking at 150 times the size of actual how they are. So you could put 150 of these lengthwise on that tardigrade and 150 of them widthwise, so you could see how small they are. When you're looking at them like this, you don't really think of them as small. Your brain just thinks, they're the size of your thumb or a dime or something, but they're not. They tiny. Rotifers checking out my donation page. These rotifers are cool in themselves because they're fascinating creatures also. Got some Paramecium on here, or something close to a Paramecium. I got another slide with some Planarian on there. I might go get that in a minute. Planarians are big. You can actually see Planarians with the naked eye. And when you put them on this microscope, they look like giant Muppets or something. I'm gonna go back to lower power. I'm gonna get a bigger view because I'm gonna get up for a second. And so if I keep a bigger view on here, I can get up, and when people come, they'll still see some action here without me staring at it. So I'll be right back. Check and see if anybody. And if you look, this is moss. See this green plant right here? It looks like a big giant tree. This is actually where I got the tardigrades from. They like to hang around in this moss. This is the little fuzzy stuff that you see on the sidewalk, wet sidewalks and stuff. So this is little fuzzy moss, and then you pick this stuff, you mix it in some water, and then you check on it, and you wait a couple of days, and you try to get a couple out, and you put them in clean water, blah, blah, blah. And then, eventually you have tardigrades. But this is where they like to live, in this stuff. And these are just some Paramecium. They might not be Paramecium. It might be those same things I had on there yesterday. Try to find another water bear here. Those are Rotifers. This is 60x. So this isn't as powerful. This is 60 times. There's a small water bear right there in the middle. See how small he is? It's crazy. Okay, that's 60 times. This is, hey, cubic. World is cubic. So this is a small tardigrade right here. So he might only be a couple of weeks old. He might have been an egg when I first got him. Yeah, rotifers, they grow, they multiply like crazy. I've never seen I've never seen them. I don't even know. I got to read up on rotifers, but they surely multiply. I mean, I'm seeing probably when I first got the slide, they hardly had any on them when I first put it in here. I had a bunch of water bears that I got separated, but hardly any rotifers, maybe 2 or 3. Now there's just, they're all over the place. I'm gonna go grab a Planarian slide that I have made. I'll be right back. So let's see. I actually have 3 prepared slides that I made that I can keep going. So what I'm gonna do is, I think this next one will have Planarian. So let me go out, and you're gonna see some white. See if a Planarian's in here. You can see how the water's moving a little bit. Ooh, this one has a lot of cyanobacteria in it. And the water seems to be flowing. I don't want that. Those are little rocks. Not even rocks, that's grains of sand and dirt down there. So each one of those is a grain of dirt. Okay. So, hey, thanks, Howard Jolly. Yeah, each one of these is a grain of dirt, so you can see how little this stuff is. So let me see what I got on this slide. I thought this was my Planarian. This might be the one with the amoebas on it. Let me see. And when you're looking for stuff, you just gotta kind of go organize. What the hell? This is not a Planarian. This is a shrimp or something. Looks like he's from District 9. I think he was on here the other day. Looks like he's squeezing right up in that little tub of water right there. So let me just go. He was crazy. Yeah, hey, yeah, bug guy. Did you see that big thing? I think that's a shrimp. I think that's my shrimp I had on here earlier, a couple of days ago. This looks like a lot of algae taking over my slide. Yeah, I don't know where, oh, there's something. That's not a Planarian. I think that this right here might be related to a Planarian, but it's a little different. So let me keep looking for my main Planarian here. This looks like another one of those guys. Well, I had some big Planarian, man. what that is. You can see I got a lot of water in here because when I move it, you can see it kind of flow. This is a planarian. You can see him how he likes to stay down in this goop right here. If you look real good, you can see his eyes. He's kind of in the weeds. So let's see if we can get him to come out of there. He swam off. Yeah, I have either on this slide or my other slide, I have a couple of big ones on here. Here he is again. So you can lighten it up and darken it a little bit. There, you can see his eyes. This right here is a planarian under a microscope. So this, I can't personally see this one with the naked eye, but planarians you can see with the naked eye when they get big enough. But this one's fairly small. Looks like it might have just budded off from another one. And I'm just looking for a bigger one. I'm talking for my YouTube people. I'm talking to people on Reddit that are chatting to me. And right now, I've been streaming water bears, but I do have a couple of big planarians either on this slide or on another one. So I'm just trying to find them. Ugh. That's not a planarian, but it's a big worm. Check that out. Boy, look at that thing. Looks really long, but it's probably as long as a period at the end of the sentence. Whew. Check that out, huh? That would be a worm. That's a real worm, probably related to an earthworm. Yeah, that's a worm. I mean, you can see his intestines and everything. Check that out. Plug in my computer. I'm using a lot of juice. There you go. Oh, okay, so let me go ahead and look. I'm just going to go across on this slide. And so this one must not have my big planarian. So hang on a minute. I'm going to take this slide off. I'm going to put this other one on here that I have. One of these has some planarians on here that really look crazy. Oh, that's a hookworm right there. That right there is a hookworm that gets in your dogs and even humans. You can see it's called a hookworm because look on each end when it moves, it hooks. So that's a hookworm trying to burrow into the side of you don't want those. That's why, when you handle this stuff, this could actually cause you some discomfort and multiply inside your body. So you got to be careful. That's not the planarian I'm looking for. That's not a planarian. These are just worms, different kind of worms. Yeah, this stuff just came from pretty much puddle water, picking up mud, dirt from puddles, in the grass. And then after you let it sit long enough, these things start multiplying. And you get tons of them. So when you're working in your garden and you got, you know, mud under your fingernails, you probably have some of these under them. This right here, if you were here yesterday, these are amoebas. You could see one. Yeah, oh, hookworms are all over in your grass. If you pull weeds and that mud that's on the end of the weeds, there's hookworms in there. Right there, look at all these amoebas. I mean, see these things? Watch. Let me zoom in. That's an amoeba. Those two are amoebas. That's an amoeba. That's an amoeba. That's an amoeba. All of these were in muddy water. See all these amoebas right here? If you look, you can see this one moving a little bit. Come Mr. Worm. Let me, bowl of seeds. I'm trying to see all these questions. Yeah, this is just a regular light microscope, you know, that you would use in high school. And there's an amoeba. This might be two amoebas on top of each other. I can't be sure though. Here's an amoeba right here. Looks like he's moving out a little bit. See his arm right there? Going from left to right. So these are amoebas. Let me, I'm still looking for that Planarian. Let me see if I can find them. Be disappointed if I can't find him because he was really big. These are little dirt. If you're just getting here, these are little dirt granules. Each one of those is a grain of dirt. Each one of those balls is one grain of dirt. Yeah, I'm gonna ID these later because I have so many on them. I might as well know what they are exactly. There's a Planarian right here resting. I don't know what he's doing. He's resting at the bottom. This is dry up here, and this is water, so you can see him. He's kind of in no man's land. There you go. Come on. There you go. He looks like a Muppet. So he's right under that bubble. Like that would be this is dry land up here. So maybe he's trying to evolve and walk on land. Come on, man, get out of there. You big dummy. What are you doing? He's exploring the dry land. Now he's gonna go into the dark area. You stinker, man, where you going? All right, let me go look over here. See if I can find, I think I have a bigger one. Yeah, these ones right here are, oh man, you see I'm bad at names. I forgot what those were. I had so many things on here you gotta remember. Oh, Spirostonum, I think those little ones are. Like that right there, Spirostonum. If I can't find that Planarian, I'm gonna be PO'd, man, come on. But there is a lot of stuff on here. It's amazing what a couple of drops of water. Well, this is actually about 2 about a milliliter of water. So this is maybe a little more than 1 milliliter of water. So this is kind of bigger than your typical slide. Yeah, no, hopefully they're not the ones in your eye. But I know what you're talking about. So if I can't find my giant planarian, I'm gonna go back to my water bears before I call it off for the day, because I gotta go pick up my granddaughter. Okay, we're at the edge of the slide over here. Well, look at all those spirostonum. So it's this spirostonum smorgasbord over here. Check that out. I need to get something in there that'll eat those. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time on this slide for my, this one has a lot of algae on it, so I have a feeling this algae might be overpowering some of my creatures. Again, some dirt. Oh, that's a Hydra. Well, that's a treat. I thought my Hydras went away. That's a Hydra right there. That's related to a jellyfish. I'm gonna drink some water. Excuse me, my swallowing. So that's a Hydra. If you look, you can see his tentacles, or her tentacles. So this is just like a jellyfish. It will sting one of those Aleosomas. It'll sting one of those other ones, spirostonums, and it'll eat them. So this one looks pretty healthy. See that nice color right there? So this is a treat right here. Hydras are pretty cool, and they're fairly big too. Oh, somebody said something. Well, yeah, multicellular. Yeah, hydras are cool. Hydras will live forever if you feed them. A hydra is a multicellular animal, so a hydra is an animal. Water bears are animal, and those rotifers are animals. So you're looking at a multicellular animal on here now. Single cellular animals are on here too. You'll see them swimming by. So the hydra kind of contracted for a minute. Something brushed up against it or something. So yeah, hydra, these are actually big compared. Let me look. I don't think. I'm trying to see if I can see it with my naked eye. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking at my slide. I might be seeing this thing. I'm not sure though, so it's hard for me to tell. But you can see they grip the bottom of the slide right there. Just like, I don't have aquariums, but people tell me that these things can really pollute your aquarium. They'll have millions of them in there. And they're hard to clean out. You got to clean the whole thing to get them out. So you see, he looks like he's exploring in this little goop up here trying to get something. Look, he's facing right at the camera. He was straight up. So he was straight up at the camera. That was something. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, they'll get in your aquariums, and if they're, oh, what the hell? Get out of here, man! Don't eat my Hydra. Ah! Yeah, that was a shrimp. And they'll get these hydras. They bottom feeders. So my God, did you see that thing? Where you at? That was a multicellular creature. That was multicellular, that's for sure. Look, there he is. Oh. No, no. Now the Hydra's, look, see how it kind of contracted and it's kind of squished down against the slide? I guess that's a defense mechanism. So he's kind of floating back up now. Okay, his name's Quincy. This is another, where did he go? So you can see there's some bigger creatures on here. That thing you just swam by, it's called a, osteocarch or something like that. It actually looks like a little clam. See if I can zoom in on this a little bit. So this is 150, and you can see how it goes out of focus more. Trying to see if, if you zoom in really and you get it a little bit in focus, you might be able to see the stingers on it. So that's what one arm of the Hydra looks like. You might be able to see some of those stingers sticking off. You really gotta look good and have some imagination. Yeah, it's his head right there. That's his body. Yeah, I mean, for $200, go to Amscope, AMSCOPE, and plan on spending about $200. Get one without any kind of camera or anything. Make your money go all toward the microscope itself, and get one that has. They'll either call it XY stage, an XY stage, or a 3D stage. And that means you can move it up and down and back and forth with knobs, okay? If you don't move it with knobs, you're always moving the slide around with your fingers. Oh, sorry about that. It's a smooch moose. Somebody, what is that? I'm looking at my Reddit. The comments are coming up pretty slow, but this is a Hydra. It's related to the jellyfish. Yeah, now you can't see, I think there's one type of virus out there. You'd have to look it up, but you might be able to see with this kind of microscope. I forgot what it is, some kind of unique BS. But no, pretty much viruses like COVID and cold viruses and AIDS virus, you need an electron microscope. The reason is because they're smaller than photons. So, they're smaller than light. The waves of light can't bounce off of them and make a pattern to shine them back into your lens. So they're invisible, pretty much. They're too small to see with light. Right now, light is reflecting off of this, and the wavelength and photons are producing an image. Viruses are so small that the photons, I might be saying it wrong, but the photons just don't bend, don't hit it enough to come back to your eye. I'm a little off. I'm sure I'm not exactly right. Or the wavelength of light. The wavelength of light is probably too small for it to hit this. And it just goes right past viruses. So. Yeah, you can buy them. I mean, you get these days you can, it's not like it was in the 60s. You can get one, it sits on a table, it's big, it's heavy probably. So you can get them, but there's a lot of maintenance come with them, and you can't see live stuff. You don't see moving things like this. You have to fix them correctly and put them in there, and it's a pain. You got to be a scientist, but you could buy them. This is a Hydra. A couple of people on Reddit. I never streamed a Hydra for long periods of time because sometimes they're so big you can't get a good stream going because they just giant. This one's a good size. Look how long he is. Look how long this thing is. Goes from there all the way out here. I didn't realize he was that long. And notice they have those Aliosoma and those what are they called? Spirostonum worms all over the place, but they don't seem to be coming by this Hydra. It's like they know this Hydra's here. It'd be great if something swam by and we saw it grab it. That would be cool. And this is a pretty healthy Hydra. This looks like it might be starting to bud off, like right here. It might be growing another Hydra coming out of his neck. See how it's a bump right there? And then it'll be a two-headed Hydra, and then one of them will break off and swim away. That might be what's happening right there. I'll check back over the next couple of days and see if I was right. Well, Reddit's been rough the last couple of days. I'll stream for an hour and only have, 50 views. Sometimes I'll stream and you'll get, 100,000 views in 20 minutes. Reddit's a strange beast. What am I zooming this scope on? If you mean what am I looking at, that's a Hydra related to a jellyfish, very small. This is about 200, no, this is 150 times right here. So you can see for the microscopic world, he's pretty big. So if that's what you mean, this is a Hydra. No, Hydras don't photosynthesize. you're getting a color, the light's passing through them and you're seeing that green color. The only thing I can think, everything in here is probably munching on some of that algae right there. So if the creatures that this Hydra's eating is munching on that algae, it's going to take on a green color. Oh, he's moving. Look, he pulled up. See how he's moving now? He pulled up from the bottom. He's going to go somewhere else. So no, he does not photosynthesize. Oh, what's on the surface? This, I mean, this is a slide. This is a fairly big slide. It's about 3 inches wide and 2 inches tall with about a milliliter of water in it. So, and all this stuff is between two pieces of glass, basically. It's almost like a tiny aquarium. So this Hydra looks like he moved for a second. See, he took his foot up right here, and then he moved just a little bit to another area. And since he's being still, let me see if I can zoom in on his foot. So you could see in each one of these, I think he can even sting with his body. I could be wrong. But there's a good view of him, her. This is about 600 times, right? Maybe about 400x right here. I got 150 plus digital zoom, pinch zoom. Now it's straight up and down for the camera. So I'm gonna go a few more minutes and then I got some business to take care of. So I didn't expect to have this much fun with the Hydra. I have a biology degree, but I've never made, the only money I made in biology is donations from Reddit. So thanks for that. But as far as a living, I've always made my living in, computer and customer service and boy, what else? Route computers, that UPS uses, things like that. Pretty much technical support and that kind of stuff. I don't make tons of money. I never did make a lot of money in my life. Enough to buy a house and stuff with my wife and things like that, but I'm not a biologist. I mean, I am, I'm just not a paid biologist. I mean, if you go through what I did and get a biology degree, you're a biologist. Yeah, this is from water samples, variable. This is just from pretty much moss that grows in the in the sidewalks, in the shade, and just some puddle water that would be nearby it. Yeah, I mean, my degree paid, even though it was biology, I got a few jobs that needed a degree that had nothing to do with biology, but you gotta realize, oh, where did he go? You gotta realize, when you get a degree, you spend 4, 5, 6 years in college and you're working it out and you're struggling it through and, you're learning, they teaching you. You tell any future employers, okay, well, look, you could teach me anything about, your computer, or you could teach me anything about your microscope or your office work because I learned how to learn, and I learned how to learn. So I know how to learn, so teach me your thing. A biology degree or any degree, you don't just get out of college and go jump right in at the top unless you're really good at it. But, any degree is good because it tells an employer, hey, I learned how to learn, and now you can teach me what you need to teach me, so. Yeah, thanks, Verbal. Verbal droppings. Hey, look like he quieted down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna end with the water bears. So let me take the Hydra off, and I'm gonna end with water bears. Hang on, because that's what's in the title. This is moss for y'all that just came. This is what most of this stuff, not most of it, but this is where the water bears come from. They like to live in this stuff. This is that fuzzy stuff that grows in the shade on your cement. Okay, your cement or your bottom of your fence. So that's what that is. So they like to, they like to eat that, water bears. But when you get this stuff, you're always bringing up some stuff with it, like this rotifer right here. See him? So you get a lot of rotifers. Let me look for. All right, so here's a water bear we're going to end up on. I got 3 of them right here. So this is actually a small water bear. Let me make him a little bigger. There he is. And so let's enjoy him for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to hit the road. I mean, unless Reddit really picks up, I'm going to hit the road here. But that's a water bear. Doop, 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 doop. Doom, 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 doom. Let me get him in some black and white water bear. Hey, Omega. Yeah, I've been streaming for a little while, and I had, a good stream of people watching on YouTube, 5 or 6 at any given time. So this stream went about 45 minutes, so I gained a couple of hours on my YouTube channel. That's good. Yeah, I like looking at water bears in black and white. They look cool. You can see the detail better. A Paramecium swimming by. I mean, you could actually see his feet and everything. This is really cool. Doom, 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 doom. See his eyes. So this is about 500 times right here. I'm just fooling around with these filters. This is pretty much, yeah, you can see the cyanobacteria right here, the green bacteria. Water bears will eat this. He's taking a rest. You ever seen a water bear resting? Well, there you go. What you doing, man? He's resting. Well, people always ask me if I ever seen a water bear sleep. Well, I think we saw one go to sleep. There he is. All right, I'm gonna go another minute, and we're gonna hit the road, Jack. Yeah, South Park. Baby elephant walk. Water bear. Yeah, water bear. B-E-A-R. Not water bed. Tardigrade. Water bear. Somebody on Reddit put water bed. Verbal dropping, put waterbed. And he found him some food right here. They like that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, even back in the day, in the 1800s, I think maybe way back in 1700s, when these things were discovered, they named them tardigrades because tardigrade means slow stepper. So you got to figure they was always on glass. So yeah, it's not their natural habitat to walk on glass. So yeah, they do have trouble, and they look like they're sliding. Uh, but even when they're in grass and muck like this, they tend to have a hard time moving around, or at least it looks like they're having a hard time moving around. Yeah, yeah, it's educational. You learn a lot from me. Even though I don't know everything, I don't know. These people ask me, what are those little tiny ones roaming around? It's hard for me to tell. For me to get a name on those things, I'd have to zoom in on them, take a picture, research it, or at least go to another website and ask what it is. But stick with me and you'll learn a lot. We see all kind of stuff on my slides. All right, gang, I'm gonna go one more minute. I've been on 50 minutes and 51 minutes, so I'm gonna go to 52 minutes and I'm gonna shut it down. So come back, subscribe. And on Reddit, I don't know, I think even on YouTube, if you subscribe, put notifications on some kind of way because he's eating. Because, I have thousands, tens of thousands of followers on Reddit. But when I come on, I don't hardly get any views. Where did you get the water from? This is just water from near, grass by puddles, by some moss on the sidewalk. So this is pretty much what you would call puddle water. Yeah, somebody asked, and Denim Squirrel on YouTube's asking if the eggs ever hatched. I see a couple of, a few tiny tardigrades. I didn't see them hatch, but I am having trouble finding the eggs now. So either they deteriorated and didn't come back, or they hatched, or they just lost in the in the mud at the bottom. So there's no way for me to prove if they hatched or not. So. But this one's moving out, huh? And this sample that you're looking at now, I got 3 weeks ago last Friday, so that would be 21 days, and then Saturday, 22, 23, 24. This is 25th day that I kept these water bears alive. 25th day. So that's coming up on a month. I've never had them this long before. Usually they get sluggish and they look like maybe hibernating or not moving, and I just go put them back where I found them. But these are healthy, and they tend to be doing pretty good. So I'm gonna jump off now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna jump off of Reddit first, and then I'm gonna close down YouTube, and I'll let my Reddit people know how many views I had on YouTube. Hang on. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see y'all later.